here now. Will this lift WA's stocks? Going through the pack is Baker. Baker is claimed high by DP Domenico.
He's another player, Dennis, that would need to lift for WA. I think he had about 2 or 3 possessions only in the first quarter, and he can do a lot better than that.
Narkle yards in the clear. That's the direction the kick takes. He can move around that other side, Phil Narkle. Men on in the centre. He pulls it back, looking for Buckenara. Buckenara taking the tumbling mark. It was played. It did sneak out.
Maybe the umpire may have almost guessed at it. Unusual passage of play straight across the Narkle, perhaps predetermined before they started the quarter, and then Buckenara leading up the middle. Now he could, well, maybe give us a bit of a nudge, Dennis. He'll be kicking from 55 or thereabouts.
This will tell us about the breeze, because he can kick it a long way. It is a long kick, but it falls in short eventually. Holding up into the breeze. Offhand's a chance for Mitchell. Mitchell collided with by Royal. They're going in solidly. Kennedy and Peake don't like each other, and there's going to be a bounce.
I can understand Kennedy's point of view. He's kicked 3 goals on him.
Bounce down about 20 metres, 25 metres out from goal. Tommy Alvin just cruising through. Off hands, a chance for Healy to pick up the ball. He can't. Waiting behind. Folds dives after it in desperation for Victoria. Umpire Johnson decides he'll ball it up yet again. WA would like an early goal. For that matter, so would Victoria.
I think so.
Satori opposed to Madden. Madden won it down. Socket off the ground by Blackwell. Over the ball, Western Australia not making much progress. Blackwell goes back in, gets it to Buckenara, who misses. Gathered by Williams. Dexterous use of the hand pass. He shot it out, and Victoria take it to the outer side. Laurie Keane, he's agile for a big fellow. Look at that. Just gathers the ball in full stride. Me and my big mouth.
Well, it certainly deserved a lot better. He picked that up beautifully for a big fella, didn't he?
Why didn't you leave him alone, Dennis?
I'm sorry, Laurie. I'm sorry.
But it happens every time, Dennis. They let you down when you give them the big rap. The ball goes back there towards Brereton. Good play by Lester Smith. Goes the thump on that time, and the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position. Into this second quarter by 2 minutes. And it's Western Australia 4 goals, 4-28 to Victoria, 4-5-29. A very tough tussle. There's a go for Royal. He played a great game in the first quarter. Coming out as Taylor. He's got it again. Copped a heavy one that time. I think Lately got him as he was going past, but he's okay. He's a big, strong boy. And, of course, he's already kicked 1 goal. Could have easily had another 2 on the board. Strong mark that time, Eric.
Yeah, Joseph perfectly. Lately was never in any sort of a position to contest on that occasion, and perhaps all best he could have done is got in the road, which he partly did, but not enough, because Taylor now shouldn't have too many difficulties from here, Lou.
Well, he's
simple shot. He's
directly in front from about 35 metres out. There's the kick on its way, and that's a goal. The umpire didn't have to move for...
Holden Chimera for 86. Nothing else looks like it. And now, nothing else in its class gives you electronic fuel-injected power as standard.
King gets another attempt and moves the ball to Buckenara. Buckenara fires the ball into the path of Peake, and Peake has taken the mark. What a superb
kick. That's 15 metres, I suggest. That's the way it is.
No.
Peake's played a sensational game, but he kicked 3 goals in that first quarter. He's leading beautifully, Eric.
Not a bad pass in from Buckenara, though, either. Really.
Yeah, but you've got to make the lead, haven't
you?
You
do.
They're making space for him too, aren't they, to run into? There goes the Brian Peake kick. His 4th goal is on the board. Western Australia 5-4, Victoria 5-5. Top game of football as Waterson comes on and Miles comes off for Western Australia.
I know that our friends down at Geelong will be very pleased to know that Peake is playing so well, because he had a nickname when playing in Victoria at the final stages of his career. There was past his peak, and he's certainly not past his peak here today. He's kicked 4 goals. A fantastic effort by Peake.
There's the bounce. Put down by umpire Johnson. 1 down by Madden, taken by Mullane, dragged off the kick. It spills wide. Leading in the race now is Ellis. Dives on the ball. Well, almost. Poole comes through, gets a hand pass to Royal. What a game he's playing. Down towards full forward. Half volley for Taylor. Clean bowl. Chance for Weightman. Putting his body in brilliantly was Hardy. Made some space for Waterson, who's just on the ground, and the 222s collide there as cannoning into Waterson was Taylor. The free kick in the opposite pocket has been awarded to Glendinning. He goes short to Rioli. Yards in the clear as McNish down the ground. That's the direction the kick takes. McNish drifting in, takes the mark. Over committed was Mullane. The hand pass comes across to Baker. Baker goes to right half forward. Buckenara. Peake is dropping back for him. Peake yards in the clear. Will the ball carry? Bounces awkwardly. Peake controls it. Goal number 5. Will it bounce?
Yes!
It's in.
What a performance Peake's putting up at the moment.
5 kicks, 5 goals. Well, you can't do much better than that, can you?
They call 100% football, and it even did an off break, so luck is falling his way. You watch it break the other way, Eric.
Well, just about held its own, I thought. I don't want to... The thing about Peake, though, used his body superbly again, and that is an outstanding performance, and maybe Geelong might have thought that. Perhaps he didn't reach his real peak at Geelong. But
well, there's an old saying in Victorian football, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. Peak is certainly hot as the ball comes back towards the Victorian half-forward line. Picked up by Blackwell. Oh, good mark to Tommy Alvin. A little bit too tall for little Mitchell. They're still in there doing pretty well. They're in front 40 points to Victoria 35. A 5-point leeway and a good mark to Brewer. A quick hand pass. Comes over to WEIGHTMAN looking for Taylor. He's away from his opponent, but I think it'll beat him. It'll be out of bounds. Yes, out of bounds about 25 metres around from the Victorian goal. And they're trailing by 5 points. So Victoria in the hot seat.
David Brereton-Lou is absolutely killing Glendinning at the moment.
Yes, he's doing pretty well. And of course, this 40,000 crowd are right behind these West Australians. Oh, good knockout by Keane. We see Royal upended. The big beanpole knocked him down as he called timber, and down he went.
That was great stuff, actually. Great commitment, wasn't it?
Keane is doing as he did in the first 20 minutes or so of the first quarter. He's doing very well on the set about.
Well, I wouldn't take him off the ball. Ball comes back there, was knocked out by Taylor. Lately can't pick it up, but he won't give it. A very determined player. They're good play on the part of Lately. He couldn't pick it up, but he made sure nobody else was going to get it. So it'll be a ball up about 15 metres out from the Victorian goal. And as I said before, they're trailing by 5 points. Once again, it's the big fella Keane. Back to Laidley. Hardy's there. He's grabbed. Well tackled that time by Pearl. And there we see Lamb. He was grabbed, was dropping the ball. Well tackled that time by WEIGHTMAN. He's got a chance to score a goal here on a difficult angle, but he'd only be about 20 metres out from goal. Possibly 25. Right on the boundary line. A goal Victoria badly need because they're trailing by... Listen to that crowd giving him the raspberry now as he fires at the goals. Now that's 1 point, so the difference is 4 points into this second quarter by just over 7 minutes.
Waterson, former Richmond player, goes towards the outer side. Brereton gets a fist in there. Victoria have got the numbers. 3-2, but it's a free kick WA's way. It'll be taken by Glendinning out there. Ross Glendinning at right half back for Western Australia. His hands full so far in this game with Dermot Brereton. Kicks towards centre wing. 3 West Australians up. Bad football. Untidy hand pass came across from Foles towards support there. Eventually, Mullane was over the ball. They managed to work it out, Victoria. Tapped out of the pack by Di Domenico, but over the ball now is Rioli on the outer side with runners free ahead of him. Uses the ball brilliantly. This is Davidson. Davidson with space in which to operate. Chips in short. Too much carry. Read brilliantly in defence by Carroll. He storms through for Victoria. Long kick to half forward. Over the top lately. Almost a spectacular mark. Look at the balance there of Royal, surrounded by West Australians to all points of the compass. There was a West Australian. He got the ball. He didn't do much with it. Pushed in the back was Hardy, and Hardy will take the free kick on the outer side.
Gee, she's really livening up, Dennis. Pretty hectic first quarter. I believe it's stepped up in tempo even further, and this is really spectacular stuff.
It looks like Salmon is going to come on. Another test coming up for Western Australia. Kick around the outer side, and speaking of giants, Salmon launches himself to take a mark. Feeds a hand pass across to support. Smothered off the boot, though. Going back into the fray, Thompson. Trying to make amends. Rioli quickly onto the boot. Courage. Going back brilliantly, Mitchell. It's with Wilson. Wilson in, tried 25. He's storming towards goal. He puts it through.
At PBS, we've got all sorts of loans for all sorts of people.
I got the loan.
Attack again off the top of the pack. There's a chance for Foles to get the ball clear. Victoria got to go long up to Brereton. Got one hand to it, tapped on by Healy. Brereton goes after it again. He goes down with Glendinning. And the West Australians putting plenty of pressure as they go down for the little fellow Raw, but he couldn't get clear. And Hardy coming out of the pack. Brilliant play. Got out like a worm that time. Magnificent play. Oh, he wriggled his way up. Possibly like a vicious snake.
Serpent.
There we see they go back. Oh, that's Narka. Listen to this crowd. They're really getting behind that team. A magnificent pass over there to Buckenara. Back to Narka again. As they go again. Back there. Down goes Alvin. And pushed on by Rioli. Over to Wilson. Wilson's got a chance to score from about 15 metres out. He goes for a pass. I thought he might have better shot the goals. Coming in now. The balls are going out for Satori. He's only got to get up. He gets a hand pass back. And McNeese has got it through. Oh, listen to the crowd. They're going berserk here. They're running away from Victoria. So it's West Australia. 8 goals, 4-52 to Victoria. 5-6-36. And what a performance West Australia are putting up in this second quarter.
Well, that was unbelievable play by Satori on that occasion. A couple of very heavy knocks around the head.
Yeah.
Almost could have been paid a free kick, I thought, in a couple of cases there. but he is absolutely fanatical about keeping that ball in play, and finally the ball came out to McNish and Western Australia go further in front.
Shane Ellis coming off the ground. Keane goes up and wins. Gets it down to Mitchell. Mitchell on the burst, gets it across to Satori. Satori, sweeping hand pass to accommodate this man Davidson. Davidson goes down towards full forward. Peake is down there. In front is Pert. Pert fists away. Didn't go very far. Over the ball is Thompson. Peake claiming another Victorian in that congestion. And the umpire decides to bounce it, getting up gingerly as Folds. Will have a bounce about 30 metres out from WA's attacking goal. Western Australia 8-4-52. Victoria 5-6-36. There's the bounce. It's one down by Salmon. Smothered off the boot of Ruse, spills out towards half forward. Davidson goes to ground. Blackwell in there working hard. It's picked up now by Williams. Victoria on a roll towards centre wing. In front is Healy. From behind is fisted away by Hardy. Healy the better recovery. Feeds a hand pass inside. Whiteman. Look at him run, but he left the ball behind. Opportunistic play by Hardy. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, he's going to get a free kick.
Bit lucky.
Hardy gets it across to Lester Smith. Lester Smith on the emblem. Goes down towards half forward. Not a good kick. Mullane gets back to take the mark. Up comes Carroll. Hurried kick high towards centre wing. Who'll be first back? Will it pitch in the field of play? Yes, it does. One bounce out of bounds. Will have a throw in at the 12.5-minute mark of this second term. At quarter time, Victoria led by a point. It's no coincidence WA's resurgence is linked to that man. Hands on hips, Laurie Keane. Salmon is now battling with him. No difference. Keane won it down, but it's sharked by Abuse. A high kick inside 50. Laidley going back. Storming out is Taylor. Waterson knocks it away from him, close to the boundary line. Waterson content to run it out of bounds.
He had a quick look at the boundary umpire there in great hope that he hadn't noticed, but he's about 1.5 metres across, but he did the right thing, obviously.
16 points the difference at the 17-minute mark. It's been all West Australia so far. The big fellow again. That was knocked out by Taylor. Juggled by Hardy. He'll go for the boundary line. The ball is out about 25 metres around from the Victorian goal. Victorians appear to me very hesitant down there in defence. They're making a lot of mistakes and, of course, letting these West Australian forwards run wild. Ball back into play again. Knocked out by Keane. Well, there was a heavy bump that time to Lamb, to Blackwell from Brereton. Stopped him in his tracks, but at least it's kept it in Victoria's attacking zone, only about 30 metres out from their goal. They're trailing by 16 points. Now, they're in plenty of trouble if they want to win this championship. Knocked out by Taylor. Over it goes now. The ball comes back to Buse. We see Pearl trying to get out, but they just swamp him. He had no hope. There was about 5 of them dived on him then.
No hope at all, Lou. They certainly swarmed on him, and really the tackling of West Australia in this early part of the second quarter has been a feature of their play.
Well, they're very aggressive, and they're looking good, 16 points in front. But the Victorians will bounce back. Don't worry about that. Knocked out by Taylor over there to Little Roy, but he couldn't get clear once again. We've got a bit of a stalemate here, about 25 metres out from the Victorian goal. Still 16 points the difference. And we're just on the 15-minute mark. Will that be a free kick? The umpire said no. I thought it could have been against Keane, but he said no. It was quite okay. It'll be still a ball up, so we've had about 5 there in a matter of 2 minutes.
Well, Taylor was a bit stiff not to get a kick there.
That's right, I thought so. I thought it could have been against the big fellow.
There's the bounce. Keane opposed to Taylor.
That's a free
Got to
kick.
get it now.
Oh, no.
It's going WA's way.
Well, he may have said he balked him. I don't know. We'd like to see that again.
Lou, the thing is, I think if I lived to be 150, I would never understand the infringements that take place at ruck bounce stands. I would have given that to Taylor myself.
Well, Keane's got the free.
Oh, that's got to be to Taylor.
Blackwell at half-back, cuts infield. High kick towards the centre of the ground. Big pack at the fall of the ball off the hands of Wilson. Roving the pack. Run down brilliantly was Weightman by Wilson, but it's going to be a free kick to Weightman for a push in the back.
Well, technically maybe a good tackle, though, I thought, by Wilson, but he did certainly carry him forward a little bit of momentum, but not a bad tackle.
He came out of that pack as though he was catapulted, didn't he, Wilson? There goes the kick from Weightman down towards full forward. The big fellow is down there, Taylor. Hit him in the mush. Running behind, a chance for Hardy. Hardy with ample time and a couple of good shepherds goes to the outer side. Intelligent use of the ball. Baker's got it. Where will he go? Narkle. No, Narkle is closed down the ground. Eventually, he's forced to kick in that direction. He didn't want to, and that's the reason why Di Domenico is simply too tall. Narkle really didn't work hard enough down the ground that time, Eric.
He had a couple of options, Baker, coming out, and that was the worst of them, and he picked it, unfortunately, for WA.
The third of 2 options. There goes the kick in towards half forward. Keane was up, couldn't take the mark. Gets a hand pass out wide. Rioli surrounded, in trouble. Could have almost been holding the ball. Emerging with the ball now is Weightman. Weightman 40 metres out, kicks a goal for Victoria.
I've got save mania, and you're going to get
Australia into this quarter, the second by 17 minutes. Knocked out by Salmon, getting up higher that time.
Brilliant dash.
Great play by Williams. A long kick looking for Taylor. He's he dropped an easy one. Should have marked that. He fumbled it. There's Hardy going after it. Oh, great play. He's played it safe. It'll go out of bounds, but at least Victoria couldn't go deep into attack. Then it was great play by Hardy.
Taylor did all the heavy work there, Lou, and once the ball came to him, he shouldn't have missed the mark for sure.
Ball out of bounds about 40 metres around from the Victorian goal. Ball pushed out by Satori. Well grabbed by Mitchell. A hand pass coming over to Baker. Baker goes for a pass, and what a beauty. Oh, it was too long that time for Rioli. Picked up that time by Fowles. Hooks it back towards centre half forwards. Picked up again by Williams. A hand pass coming over now to Morwood. Out wide to Thompson. Thompson goes for a pass. Taylor's got this one. Well, he could hardly drop it. He's already kicked 2 goals. He'd be about 40 metres out from goal by the time he kicks this one on a very slight angle, and Victoria trailing by 10 points.
And Taylor, once he gets that front position, he's got enough toe. He's not the fastest player I've ever seen, but he's got enough pace to hold on to the front position. And on that occasion, he did so fairly comfortably with Watterson on his heel. And again, this game is turning, and not coincidentally, Western Australia, I think, is taking Keane off the ball.
There's the kick on its way, and that's another goal to Victoria, so the difference only 4 points.
10, 9, ignition sequence.
One down by Harding. Going through the pack was Baker without the ball. It comes to Buckenara. Hurried kick out of defence. High grandstand side. Salmon should mark. Great work, in fact, there by Dwayne Lamb as he got
Certainly
Salmon out of the way.
Blocked him beautifully, didn't he?
Yep, and Satori over the top, but it's going to be a free kick to Salmon. Well, dare we say anything, Lou?
No, that's right, but I thought he did the right thing, the little fella, and the crowd agree with us too.
That's not surprising. Obviously, Salmon did too. He had a pang of conscience and kicked it straight to Lamb. Lamb goes down towards half forward, is knocked away from McNish. Waiting behind a chance for Carroll now. Carroll comes through the pack and sends Victoria back to their half forward line. Hardy.
Good body work by Glendenning, though, to get Brereton away from him.
You'd swear blind he had a leather magnet in his arms, wouldn't you?
Nobody likes him.
Wide, taken by Lester Smith. Lester Smith pulls it around the corner. Narkle with a chance to take it and run. He's confronted by Thompson. It spills across to Satori. Satori is taken high according to the umpire, and he wins a free kick on the outer side. There goes the kick from Satori down towards the right full forward pocket. Up in front was Buckenara. Crashing his way through there was Pert. Coming into the pack solidly to Mullane. Ball spills back to Pert. Pert gets it towards the boundary. In goes Peake. He goes to ground. Healy's over the ball now. Slaps it out only as far as Rioli. Rioli pulls it back looking for a more central location. Keane is surrounded. Brilliant tackle applied by Thompson. Should have been a Victorian free kick. Not paid. Picked up by Royal. He slung off it. In goes Mitchell. Mitchell, look at the Victorians around him. Was he grabbed by the leg? He's going to get a free kick.
Well, that was a free kick against Keane for sure for holding the ball.
No question. Mitchell goes down towards the pocket. On a lead, Buckenara, and surrounded. Buckenara takes the mark, and a little bit more as cannoning into him was Gary Pert. Buckenara to take the kick in 15 metres, I'd suggest.
Not forthcoming, I don't believe. The distance wouldn't worry Buckenara anyway, Dennis. He certainly can roost that football. And in fact, he's come into prominence in the latter part, since the latter part of the first quarter. Precious kick, this one. They all are, aren't they, in a tight situation like this?
Great game of footy. Buckenara close to the man on the mark. Puts it to the square. Laurie Keane almost the mark. Off hands Peake at number 6. Number 6, or did it brush the post? It brushed the post. But Carroll was quick to tell the goal umpire.
Well, his luck had to change, but he's played a magnificent game. Been a very dangerous player down there. Peake.
Buckenara's 5th kick for the quarter. Actually, you called it in commentary there, Dennis. Buckenara, for some reason, ran right up to the man on the mark, and it wasn't necessary, really.
Well, there's Gary Pert taking full advantage of knowing being on the mark that time. Flying high was Wayne Harms on the ground. Picked up by Baker. He's collared by Williams. A good tackle. Has a go for Weightman. A hand pass coming out now to Healy. Goes down. Lamb's into his back. Mullane can't get clear. Lamb's still going after them. Finally, it's ducking his head was Healy. Couldn't get it out. Baker's there too. He nearly copped the boot from Weightman. Picked up as he gets a hand pass to Buckenara. Cops Carroll, loses it. Backing up well as DP at a minute ago. Great tackle that time by little Narkle. Now the umpire will pull it up. They're certainly giving them plenty of latitude.
Very fierce, Lou. You don't get too many chances to go forward. In fact, it's very much a case of as soon as you get rid of it, big somebody's right on your hammer. 5
points the difference in favour of Western Australia. Knocked out by Harding. Picked up by Royal, who's played a crackerjack game here today. Out it goes towards Laidley. Couldn't get clear. He grabbed Weightman. The umpire still called play on. You've certainly got to earn your free kicks out there today. They're not giving any charities.
No way. And that's the way it should be too.
Well,
it's a very
yes.
fierce game, and I think it's got to be allowed
As long
to
as you
flow.
keep fair to
And
one, fair to all.
consistency,
That's the most important thing.
which I think they've done.
They have, yes. We won't growl about that. Knocked out by Harding again. Laidley gets a hurried kick back. Coming out to meet it is Alvin flying. Oh, great mark. The Buccaneer, a beauty. He was well covered in that first quarter by Carroll, but he's coming into his own now. Back she goes to the half-forward line, and there'll be a mark to Peak. And what a menace this bloke's turning out to be, but he's a long way out from goal. He's dropped it short. Salmon at the back was Wilson. No, it's Lamb. McNeish it is. Third go right. McNeish driving it up a chance now for little Mitchell. Got a hand to it, couldn't hold the mark. Now the big fella's trying to get it. Victoria finally get it out to Mullane, but he's well grabbed that time but he was grabbed too high.
Very good.
Could have been lucky, Victoria.
Decision.
Mullane, over it goes to Pert, down there on the back pocket position. And there's plenty of pressure on now as the ball goes out of bounds on the centre wing position. Into this quarter by just on 24 minutes, that's the second. And it's West Australia, 8 goals, 5-53 to Victoria, 7-6-48.
Top game of footy, this one. Crowd of about 40,000 now. It's built up since the start of play. Salmon opposed to Harding. Comes forward, a chance for Weightman over the ball for Victoria. Emerging with it is Baker. He hasn't got it either. Williams robs him. Eventually it comes out to Royal. Royal drives it down towards right half forward. Out of bounds on the full, and a Footscray teammate will take the free kick this afternoon, of course, representing Western Australia, the reigning Brownlow medalist, Brad Hardy. Brad Hardy from half back. Slight lull in proceedings as he drives it along the grandstand side. The spectacular leap from behind was from Morwood. Wide of the pack, a chance for Williams. Williams is claimed by Lamb. Ball is jarred free. In goes Lester Smith. A hurried kick towards half forward. Mitchell, almost a spectacular mark. Deflection comes back to Weightman. He's surrounded and confronted. He goes to ground. On top of him is Mitchell, who came back after the ball. And there's going to be a bounce inside the centre square.
Makes you pretty glad you're too old to be out there, doesn't it?
I think so. It's been very willing. Ruckman almost back to back. It's won out well by Salmon, but taken by McNish. The hand pass not a good one. Shark by Thompson towards half forward. Danaher's in front, and he takes the diving mark.
Been a pretty quiet play today, Danaher. Very quiet. I think he's only had about 4 possessions.
Danaher comes out wide. In front is Harding. Taylor showed a lot of pace to work his way to the front. Waterson the scrambled kick. Lamb with a chance now. He's a deft playmaker. What will he do? He's looking down the ground, measures his options. High kick towards Rioli. Rioli drifting in. Brilliant fist away there from Ruse. Ruse appears to be hurt. He's lying on the ground back behind the play. Rioli picks it up. Ruse is on his feet, but as you can see, he's not moving too well. Goes back after the ball. Needs support. Kicked with that injured leg by all accounts. Not a good kick. He comes again. A lot of courage there from Paul Ruse. Not to much effect. It's gathered by Baker. Baker goes down towards the pocket and Peak. And what a good mark that was.
Well, he's amazing me right through the season. In fact, he has with his aerial work. Certainly not notorious for his great overhead work, but there's a kick, a high one coming in. And Brian Peak will get the front position, hang on to it, and that's his 5th mark. Not a bad effort for a player of his size.
I know Ron Alexander had to convince a few other selectors that Peak was the man for full forward. My word, he's been vindicated this afternoon. High kick into the full forward area. Alvin can't control it. Ruse held without it. He'll take a free kick.
Well, Ruse has got the free. He's played a pretty good game down there at centre half back for Victoria. Limping a little bit. Finally, hand passed over to Pert, a short one. Little Royal grabs it there on that 50-metre defensive line. He's got plenty of room to kick this one long, but it's not a great kick. It'll come out to Hardy, overruns the ball. You don't often see him do that. But Glenn Denning backing up. He's got a paddock to move in here. Short pass, it'll be okay, and the ball marked here now by Hardy. Got the nasty one that time from Williams. Got a 15-metre penalty, a hand pass coming back now to Hardy again. And the West Australians go into attack again. Carroll flies. He's put off balance that time by Satori. Grabbed by Thompson. Peak still there too. Thompson got a hand pass out, but Mitchell snapped that up pretty quickly. Over it goes to Davidson up towards the full forward position. Up the top of the pack, here's a go for Buccaneer. It'll be a goal. And listen to the crowd going wild here at Subiaco Oval. So now we see Victoria still in plenty of trouble. 9 goals, 5-59 West Australia to Victoria, 7-6-48.
Well, that was absolutely superb use of the body there by Buccaneer. He didn't want to contest the mark. Laurie Keane is being taken from the ground, and that's amazing to me. He's been the best player for West Australia in my book. Buccaneer, 2 kicks to quarter time. He's had 6 since then, and he's really been a dominant half forward.
And Carroll has been carried off.
Well, that's bad news for Sydney.
Dennis Carroll has been carried off by some Victorian trainers. In fact, I think they're de facto Victorian trainers, local trainers from the Subiaco club by the looks of things. Meantime, the ball is in centre field. Diving on top of is Glendinning. He's claimed, and there's going to be a bounce.
Well, that's bad luck for Carroll. Of course, he's had a sensational season. He's in a bit of trouble down there on the boundary line too.
Bounce from umpire Castle. Western Australia 9-5-59. Victoria 7-6-48. Trying to push his way through the pack was Baker, gathered by Mullane. A kick towards half forward for Victoria. WA with the numbers. Lester Smith took a risk. Mitchell fell over, does it brilliantly. Trying to get the ball out of the pack to Laidley. There's going to be a Victorian free. It'll go to Royal. Royal held without it on the 50-metre line, foxing for 15 metres, which would put him within scoring range. Not forthcoming. Glendinning stands the mark.
13th kick for Royal, Dennis. He's been a very busy player.
He and Weightman both playing exceptionally well. The two prime movers for Victoria today. Royal a long telling kick towards full forward. They were a little bit proppy, the West Australians, getting back to give some tall coverage there.
Well, in fact, nobody was behind the goal line for the big leap over the top, which is fairly common these days, I guess. I would have thought it might have been worth a chance.
9-5-7-7. WA lead at Waterson, favouring the outer side, looking for Lamb. Weightman puts his body in. Lamb, almost a brilliant one-hander, not paid. Going in solidly was Bewes. Back comes Weightman, and there's going to be a bounce.
Funny, there's a siren for half-time. A strange place to kick for Waterson. Lamb out number 2-1.
Adney wins it.